John, tell me, why is it that we don't have an African brand cell phone? I mean, we have the iPhone, the Nokia, the Sony Ericsson, the Samsung, but we don't have an African brand cell phone.
My sister, it's because we just order and never develop our own products.
Now where do these companies get the raw materials for their phone? The Western world, also called the North. I heard their natural resources are exhausted.
Now look who's trying to be smart here.
Hey! Don't be rude towards your brother.
But Mom, he always likes making remarks every time I speak. Plus, his father never makes effort to pay his maintenance.
Come on, sister. Freddy is right. The North exploited our resources in the past, and now since we are independent, they get products from our country. They make their products, and they sell it at the huge profits.
When did your father last come, Sandra? He only comes when Mom lays charges against him for not paying maintenance. My dad uses internet banking to pay my maintenance.
My dad will come and I won't share it with you. You can scratch that pot till the bottom becomes loose and he still won't come. He's such a coward for only sending the money only.
You can continue to tease me. When I am old enough, I will look for my dad and bring him to you. Then I want to see if you will still behave like this.
Sandra, you must stop with your nonsense. We depend on the 200 Namibian dollars that we get from John and Freddy's fathers.
Give the pot.
Take it. I don't want it anymore.
Sandra, leftovers are getting cold.
Finish your food and go play outside. You must wash the dishes later. I'm quickly going to Auntie Mary.
Guys, I'm packing away the dishes.
I'm drying the dishes. Freddy, you must wash the dishes.
Hi there. What we can see here is a family that is depending on the well-being of someone else. Welcome to Namcol's second program in Development Studies series for grade 12 learners. Today we will discuss the exploitation of the poor by the rich. Our lesson objectives for you are that by the end of this video lesson, our learners should be able to describe and evaluate dependency theory, define neo-colonialism, evaluate the evidence of exploitation and the underdevelopment of the poor by the rich, and the underdeveloped countries by the developed countries. Enjoy the lesson with us.
Hello, children.
Hey, uncles.
Where's your mother?
She's at America.
And where's Freddy?
He's in the flat playing because his father ran away.
Just say something about my father again, I'll kill you.
Oh, Uncle, please tell Freddy to stop.
Come on, Freddy. Come sit here next to Uncle Steve.
He can't sit, Uncle. He needs to do the dishes.
No, the dishes can wait. Now tell me, why are you crucifying each other over your fathers?
Well, Mom says that Freddy's father is in South Africa selling raw materials. But the irony is that I heard at school that there are people buying our raw materials, manufacturing it, and then selling it back to us at a much higher price.
Yes. It also says that the people from the North exploit poor people like us. That's why we are still so poor. They are busy cheating Freddy's father.
You can just shut your mouth. You have a Christmas father that you only visit during Christmas in Oshwambolen. And I heard that your father is a merchant, Sandra. That's why Mom left him. He sells drugs.
Ah, wait. So your father is a doctor. That's nice.
So it's true?
No, your father does not drive such a nice car as Dr. Van Arte. His name is not Doctor. His name is Nompis.
Just imagine, Dr. Nompis Lucas.
Oh, Uncle, please tell Freddy to stop.
Come on. Stop it now, all of you. It does not matter who or what your father is. They still remain your father. Families are not chosen. They are given to you. Especially you, Freddy, who hasn't seen your father in a very long time. It is okay to long for your father. It should not make us bad people. Right? Enough longing for one day. Freddy, it's time to go do the dishes now.
Dependency theory. The growth theory became discredited in the 1960s because developing countries in Africa and Latin America failed to pass through the stage, which was still argued would lead to industrialization and development. This led to a second explanation of the causes of development and underdevelopment called dependency theory, which was first proposed in the 1960s. While stages of the growth theory were based on a belief in the capitalist system, socialist writers influenced dependency theory. These writers argued that the South was unable to follow the North's path towards industrialization because the North used the South's resources to achieve its own industrialization. In this way, kept the South poor. The third factor was resources, the minerals and other primary goods which the industrializing countries of the North took from the colonies. These resources allowed the North to industrialize. The countries of the South, on the other hand, do not have colonies from which they can take resources. And since most of the countries of the South were themselves former colonies of the countries of the North, even their own resources have been taken away from them. In other words, according to dependency theory, the North has exploited the South and kept it poor. Neo-colonialism. Today, almost all former colonies are independent, but the North continues to exploit the South in the form of neo-colonialism. The underdevelopment of the South, according to dependency theory, the North has exploited the South and kept it poor. After the industrialization of Europe, the USA and other countries of the North, the non-industrial countries, most of which were the former colonies, gradually became dependent on the industrialized countries. The industrialized countries bought non-industrial countries raw materials and supplied them with more expensive manufactured goods. Even after they became independent politically, these former colonies were still economically dependent on the industrialized countries. This economic dependence is known as neo-colonialism. Dependency theorists, many of whom held socialist views, blame the underdevelopment of the South on exploitation by the capitalist North. They explained the dual economy as a result of the forces of capitalist big businesses and multinational companies exploiting the weaker nations. People who work in the formal sector are a part of that exploitation, gaining the benefits of development but only for themselves. Application of dependency theory. Some developing countries try to break their dependency on the North by cutting themselves off from trading with the rest of the world and by relying on their own resources instead. Tanzania, Brazil, India and China all try to do this, but all of them now open new markets to trade with the outside world. They have found that they have to work within the global trade markets and with the multinational companies which control larger parts of the markets. Dependency theory provides explanations of the difficulties created by unequal patterns of trade. However, the theory fails to provide satisfactory answers as how to solve these problems. The countries of the world are not able to cut themselves off and maintain economic growth on their own. Even China, having 1/4 of the world's population, now favors trade with the outside world. How useful are these two explanations of development today? Both the stages of growth theory and dependency theory are useful in explaining what has happened in the past, but they have not provided satisfactory answers as to how development should take place today. Most people now accept the argument of stages of growth theory that industrialization is an essential part of modernization, but they also accept that exploitation and the creation of economic dependency is a problem that is slowing down the development of the South. However, successful industrialization today involves building up exports, which can compete on the world market. This has been done by the newly industrializing countries in the last 2 decades. Development in most countries requires those countries to industrialize, to diversify their economies, and to work within a global, worldwide economy. So, people today have generally accepted the arguments of the two major explanations, but they are trying to move on. People have learned that development is not just about economic growth. Explanations that rely on economics and politics are not the whole answer. The industrialization strategies of the newly industrialized countries and the attempts to create a new international economic order are two examples of ways in which the South can be helped to catch up with the North through economic policies. These are grassroots development strategies that work from below upwards. Viewers, let's summarize. The second major explanation is dependency theory, which argues that the underdevelopment of the South is the result of its neo-colonial relationship with the North. The North keeps the South economically dependent and exploits it so that it is unable to develop. This theory argues that countries should break their ties with the North, but few countries have been able to do this. I hope you've enjoyed watching and learning with us, but before we go, here's our SMS competition question for today. Please SMS us at 5003 and mention the keyword for this lesson, which is exploitation. Then, leave a space and type A, B, or C for the answer you choose as correct. Each SMS costs $3 Namibian. Here's the question. Tell us which statement you think is correct amongst these three. Dependency theory was first proposed in the A. 1930s, B. 1960s, or C. 1990s. Here's the question again. Tell us which statement you think is correct amongst these three options. Dependency theory was first proposed in the A. 1930s, B. 1960s, or C. 1990s. The winner will be announced within 3 days, and if it's you, we will contact you to come and collect your prize at a Namcol center near where you live. Thanks again for watching and see you again soon. Bye bye.